This is the Homeguard security light stroke camera stroke alarm. Basically this is your camera here plus your power supply plus your manual. What I'm going to do is just give you a run through on the whole system and how to actually set the system up. So first of all, we're going to go and see how you set it up. We've done a printout here. So this is the printout that you're looking at here. If you're going to set it up, if you just use the first setup, you'll see everything here. If you want to pause this tape, you can always pause the tape and just take your time. The main thing what you're going to be doing is make sure that you're beside your ruler when you're doing the setup, and your camera is beside the ruler, and your phone is 10 to 20 30 centimeters just away from the camera. So your phone, when you do download the app and you're going to set it up, has to be close to the camera. Then you're going to power the system up. So you run through the whole lot. It's fairly straightforward. When you have it online, you're going to have to go into settings. When you go into settings, what you're going to do then is, we'll just move settings over for you. So you're going to go into settings. How you go into settings is you see a symbol underneath the picture of your camera on your phone. You see a symbol there, and it's it will have settings underneath it. So you're going to press on that, and that'll bring you into this settings. And then you're going to go into time settings, and that will bring you into this page here, time settings. And where you'll see just here, right here, you go down to UTC 0, and you're going to press on that, and you're going to press save. So basically what that's doing there, it's changing the time to the time that's actually in your country. So that you're going to do that. You're going to go back out of here, which you'll go up here, and you're going to press, and you're going to go back into the main settings. When you go back into the main settings, what you're going to go then is you're going to go into, which we'll go over here, you're going to go into this settings here, and this is alarm settings. When you go into alarm settings, what you're going to have a look at, make sure that you have your receive alarm prompts, you have that enabled. That should be blue, and your motion detector should be fully over to the left hand side. Make sure that the circle is pulled fully over to the left hand side. You want to leave the sensitivity as low as possible. So you need to do those two. If it's a case where the buzzer is there, if you wanted to have the siren going off for 1 minute, 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you just press on that and you put in the 1 minute, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And then you go back out of that and you're going into your settings again, and then you go into picture and sound. When you go into picture and sound, just make sure your volume is at 100% and your motion detector again is fully over to the left hand side. Make sure you have it pulled over fully completely. Then from there you go back out of the settings, go back into settings again, and it will bring you into your switching time. This basically is for your light that's built into the camera. If you wanted to have your light coming on at different times in the evening, on and off, you can just do that. All you're doing is you're basically putting in the time. Once you put in the time there, as you see there, you're going to put your time, and that will be marked just here. So you're going to put your time, that will come on, and then you're going to press on it, and then you're going to put it wherever time you want to go off, and then if you want another few times, and once you do that, then all you do is you press save. Once you press save, that means though the light will come on at the times you wanted to come on it and go off at the times that you wanted to come off it. If it's a case that you ever did want to delete that, all you do is where you put your time in, you just swipe it to the left hand side and delete will come up, and just press delete and then press save on it. So that means you're deleting the times. But that's basically if you ever wanted to basically have your light coming on. There are two LED lights, they're fairly strong, they're 5 watts, and they'll basically, if you want to have them come on at night time, anytime you want to have them coming on, you can set the time. And then if you ever want to change the time, you just swipe on where you have the time, and that will delete any times that you want to delete. So basically, as I said, what we've done there is we've gone through the 4 settings. Normally with the four settings, as we go back here again and we show you the 4 settings, you should, when you're setting it up, you will hear a prompt, and the prompt will say successful. If it doesn't say successful, that means it hasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. Sometimes the Wi-Fi might be a little bit weak, so you might need to redo it again. If you do need to redo the setup again, what you need to do is on the camera here, just on the outside of the camera, there's 2 little screws. I'm just going to turn that there for you. And right here where those 2 little screws, take those 2 little screws out, and on the right hand side you see there's a little switch. you go to the switch and you hold the switch down for about 10 seconds, and you should hear the voice prompt on it, and the voice prompt will be basically saying it's back to factory settings. So what you do then is you go back and you go right through the whole system again on that, and that should set it up no problem. You should have it saying successful. Once it's done, then you've gone into your settings as well, and you've changed all the settings that you need to change. Just unplug it and then put it up to everywhere you want to put it up to. So that's ready to go. You should see it on your phone, that you'll see the live pictures. If it's a case that you want to do a different way, you can go the second way. The second way here is a different setup. What you're using here is you have a small computer cable. It's a LAN cable, and what that does is you're going to plug that into the router, and then the other end goes into your camera. This is the one I normally use, and it's very straightforward, and you never have a problem with it. So you plug her in, and basically you're going to go do all your settings. When you do that, you're going to go into the settings then. And when you go into the settings, you're basically going to go into network settings. So I'll show you here. So there's your network settings. So when you go into network settings, the telephone company's names will come up, and whichever company you're with, you just tap on it. When you tap on it, you'll have to press confirm. So when you press confirm, you're going to have to put in your Wi-Fi password. So when you put in your Wi-Fi password, you'll press confirm again, and basically that's you finished. So all you need to do then is to go, if you want to go back into your settings to change anything, your time, as we said before on the first one there, if you wanted to change the time, you just go in and change your times on it if you want to. So that's the times there that you're going to be saying changing. If you need it, you'll always have it at UTC 0. And you're just going to press save. And then if you want to go into the other ones here, you go into your alarm settings or time settings there as well, and you go into your alarm settings. So you do exactly what we said before on the first one. Make sure it's enabled, and always make sure that the motion detector is fully over to the left hand side. You're going to go into your picture and sound, make sure the volume's 100%, and then make sure that the motion's fully over to the left hand side. And then if you want to, you can always put your times. You don't have to. If you don't want to put any times in that, you don't have to. But basically, then you just unplug your LAN cable from the router, and then unplug your camera, and then move it to wherever you want to, and then plug the power back on. So that's the second way if you wanted to. So that's the one I'd always use, and it's very straightforward. We go into the third way. There's a third way here. So the third way again is exact same. What you're doing is you're setting her up again. Make sure that you have your camera beside the router, and you have your phone beside the camera, about 20 to 30 centimeters away. Once everything is done, you'll hear the prompt saying successful, and that means you're actually connected as well. Again, if you ever have any problems at all with this system and you want to bring it back to the factory settings, what you're doing is you're going to take the two screws out on the camera, which is the camera, as I said to you there, there's two screws on the side of it. Unscrew it, and you see on the right hand side there's a little small switch. Hold the switch down for at least 10 seconds. It could be, you'll hear in between the 10 seconds, you'll hear the voice prompt. Once you hear the voice prompt, that means it's set back to factory settings. So basically that's that. On the camera here, what you're looking at is on the top circle on the top, that there is basically, well, at night time. So night time there. So if it's dark at night time, you'll have your infrared light that will come on there, and it will give you a fairly good picture. Down the bottom there, the small little circle is basically the sensor for night time. So if that was ever covered and it's dark, that picks up the darkness, and that's how it knows it's night time. On either side, on the left hand side and the right hand side, there are your two LED lights. They're fairly strong. They're roughly around 5 watts, but the light on them is very strong. And then in the center is your camera itself, and the motion detector is built into the center there as well. So anything that you see on the picture on your phone, that's what the motion is picking up with. So the main thing what you want to be doing here is when you're putting this camera up, I'd always recommend you either put it up on the left hand side of the house or the right hand side on the corner, pointing downwards, say towards your door entrance. Don't have it pointing outwards. If you have it pointing outwards, you're going to get constant false alarms, because it's going to be picking up any movement at all. If it sees cars moving, if it sees trees blowing, and pick it. So you're better off having it pointing at a right angle downwards, not outwards, downwards. And so the people will be coming up sideways, not directly straight to it. Because otherwise you're going to constantly have false alarms. The main thing is when you're doing this, you'll see on your app there, when you go into the app, underneath the picture, there's a little symbol and it says defense. That always has to be pressed on if you want your security lights to work and if you want to get your notifications. That would always have to be on. So anytime when you press the defense, you'll see a little sign on the left hand side coming up. There's a little picture of a house. That means your defense is on. That means that if somebody comes in at night time or in the daytime it will send you a notification. If you have the alarm set, it will send an alarm off, but the defense would always have to be on. At night time again, exact same, you always have to have the defense on. Once you have the defense on, your security light will come on for the set time, which is roughly around a minute and a half. And if you have the alarm set, the alarm will go off for the minute and a half or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Plus you get notifications. If it's a case that all you want to do, that you don't want to get notifications and you don't want the security light to come on, you just want to check it from, say, from work or wherever you are, and you just want to go into the app, you don't need to have the defense on then. You can leave the defense off, so you can go onto your app anytime and you'll always see what's going on in front of the house. But if you do want to get notifications, you have to have the defense on. So always press the symbol. You see the symbol and it has defense underneath it, and there's a little sign on the left hand side will come up once you press it, and the sign of a house will come up. So that means everything should be working perfectly on the system. So as I said, normally I'd keep it roughly around the height of your, say, your first floor. So that's roughly around probably 3 to 4 meters. Have it pointing downwards at a right angle towards the entrance. Again, these are perfect for a house or a shed as well. If you're putting them in a shed, and the distance they recommend for this camera is roughly around 30 to 40 meters. But if there's a wall in between, you take another 5 meters off. If it's a case that it was further and your shed was further, all you need to do is put a Wi-Fi booster in the shed, and this will work perfect. So you could actually have the alarm set on as well. So if somebody comes into the shed, all you're doing is plugging it into a power point. If somebody comes in, the lights will come on if it's dark, and the alarm will go off, and it will send you a notification straight away. Again, distance wise, if you did put a Wi-Fi booster in, it will work perfect. If it's a case then that you set yourself, well, I don't want to be getting notifications, I want to have defense on, but I want the security lights to come on, but I don't want to be always getting notifications if you're in work or something like that. You just go into your settings, and when you go into your settings, you go into alarm settings, and you see where you have it enabled to get your prompts. So all you do is switch that enable off. Once you switch that enable off, you will not receive any notifications, but your security light will still come on, okay, once you have defense on, and your alarm, if you have the alarm set, will come on. The main thing is, if a case that you did get a notification and you go onto your phone and you see somebody on your property, you can actually tell them to leave. There's a two-way system on it as well, two-way audio, so you can actually speak to the person and tell them to leave the premises, and you can hear what's going on. So you can actually tell them to leave the premises. They don't know where you are. It's an excellent system, and it's a small, neat system. Again, you could have it in your home as well, in the kitchen or a back room. Just plug it into a socket point and have it on when you leave the house. And again, if somebody did come onto the premises, you could have the alarm going off as well. Plus it will give you notifications. Plus you can come onto your phone straight away and you can actually tell them. In the app there, you'll see, if you do want to speak to anybody, there's a little microphone on it. So you're going to press the microphone. When you press the microphone, you have to keep your finger on the microphone and you can speak to the people. Once you take your finger off, you can hear exactly what's going on. Plus you can take snapshots if you wanted to take a picture of the person in your driveway or on your premise, or take a recording. That's on your phone as well. So you just press on that and it'll take, and it goes into your folder. So it's always in your folder, time wise, etc. As I said, it comes with a power supply as well. It's a small, neat outdoor camera, but it can be used anywhere indoor as well. And the main thing is always have it pointed at a right angle, not directly at the people. And basically that's everything. As I said, any problems at all, you just go back into these settings here, and you can always check what's going wrong. If you want to see how to set it up completely again, just go to YouTube, and when you go to YouTube, just put in Homeguard security light. So you're going to put in Homeguard security light, and that'll bring you to this setup here, and you can just look at it again if you want to. You do have a manual inside this, but I've done one there for you as well. And if you have a problem setting up, go into Wi-Fi, just go into the YouTube and then put in Homeguard security light, and you can follow everything I've said here. Thanks very much.